Testing. Okay, everybody, would you like to take a seat? We'll get started. We don't want this to go any longer than it has to. Color guard, line up over there. Okay, we want to get started. We'll give you a history of the cannon. The heavy artillery field gun, built in 1914, served through the First World War in a main battle theaters throughout the main battle theaters, including the Red Poppy covered fields in the 5 battles of Flanders. It was designed to be towed into battle by either a team of horses or later a 75 horsepower Colt Caterpillar. Shortly after the armistice in World War I, which is 11/11 and 18, Great Britain offered the U.S. 200 cannons of the BL-60 type to, in part, resolve outstanding war debts and contractual obligations. The offer was accepted by the U.S. Their acquisition was reported in the U.S. Army Ordnance Department's May 1920 Handbook of Artillery. 200 of these cannons were shipped and delivered to the U.S. starting in January of 1919. 67,000 rounds of 60-pound shell ammunition. All 200 guns were delivered by the end of June 1919, and most of these weapons remained unused for the next 12 years. About the same time, Post 2210 was being formed and chartered, August 25th to 31. The U.S. Secretary of War, Patrick Hurley, suggested that these unused guns be disposed of through donation as war memorials. 197 of the guns were made available for donation. Some of the guns ended up at the U.S. Army Garrison Rock Island Arsenal in Rock Island, Illinois. In the mid-1930s, Post 2210 requested and was granted one of these BL-60 cannons for the purpose of a static display war memorial. It was shipped from Rock Island to St. Genevieve by rail, and total shipping cost was $135, which would be right at $3,000 now. There was no cost for the gun, just shipping. We can only wonder what happened to 67,000 rounds of ammunition shells. Rumor has it that they were a live shell is still in the sealed off breech of the gun. Who knows? When the gun arrived here in 1930s, it was placed in the common ground of the courthouse square. Some shop owners complained about the barrel being pointed in the direction of their buildings. and were concerned vandals might fire off the gun in the middle of the night. So to appease the store owners, the cannon was moved to the southwest corner of the courthouse square, where it remained for the next 15 years, till after World War II. During World War II, a vast majority of the 200 guns were lost in scrap drives in World War II. Generations of children played on the old gun during those years. Broken bones, bee stings, and other minor injuries, unfortunately, were reported. Not to mention the stories we heard about that what happened after wedding dances on the hill next to the cannon. Over time, sunlight, weather, abuse, and neglect all took their toll. In late 2023, Post members complained about the gun's poor and rusted condition. A Post member decided to purchase a bucket of paint and a paintbrush and paint it on his own. After looking over the task, he decided to buy 2 gallons of 2 paintbrushes and asked if anyone would help. After even closer inspection, because of 4 or more coats of old paint were all showing slowly flaking and peeling off, it was decided it should be probably moved out and sandblasted and painted. Bids for parts, repairs, sandblasting, priming, painting, and transporting the 5-ton gun were all sought. Bids were approved and accepted. On January 8, 2024, the police escorted and leading the way of the 110-year-old rusty cannon was transported out for sandblasting and restoration. As the sandblasting commenced, it was found that many parts of the gun were made of brass or bronze. After research, it was determined that the brass and bronze parts were never originally painted over. In World War I, with a 10-man artillery crew assigned to each cannon, there was no problem keeping the brass and bronze shiny and the gun in A1 firing condition. To restore the cannon back to its original appearances, along with site improvements, extra costs would be incurred. Very few of this type cannon remain in existence in the worldwide today. We truly have a historic treasure that served in the red poppy-covered Flanders fields of Flanders during World War I. And we'd like to thank Robert Miller for writing this mostly up with his historic background. Okay. I got a few businesses. We had a lot of community support, and we had a few businesses donated their expertise with either equipment or whatever they were with, and boy, I hope I don't miss somebody. Vern Bowman Contracting, St. John Ready Mix, Ives Towing, Fleeks Equipment, St. John Tool and Die, Cabral Collision, Kinsey Wolk, who painted our mural, Warren Jokers for our new flagpole, Auto Tire and Parts, they donated the paint for the cannon, and Palmer Refinishes did the actual restoring. I hope I didn't forget anybody. And we got to thank the community. We collected unbelievable amount of money that the people were willing to give for this project. And I just seen our chairman of the Cannon Committee just walked in. Now he's trying to hide. But we had Carl Okenfuss was on the committee. Would the committee members stand up if you're here? Yep, maybe none of, well, I was on it. Oh, there's Kelly and Penny. I was on the committee, and Dan LaRose. Well, and Dennis is on all committees. He don't know that, though. Okay, I think that's it. Well, we just dedicate the new cannon and the grounds around it, and we think it turned out pretty good. There's plaques on the side of the building that people that donated, so I'm not going to read all them. That's just too many. But we want to thank the community for jumping in there and helping us with it. And there was a few mistakes we found later on the plaques, and there's a smaller plaque above the cornerstone on the building where we fixed the mistakes. So I think that's all on the cannon. Dennis, you know anything else? Okay. We also want to honor, we started doing funeral memorials for our deceased veterans in 1999. So that last year would be 25 years that we were doing that. And since December of 2024, we did a total of 784 funerals. And this is all, these guys donated their time, their cars to go to these funerals, and we went as far as Jefferson Barracks, Patton, Missouri, out in the Lead Belt in several areas, several places out there. I'm going to call these names, and I'd like for them to come up, and please stay. We'd like to take a picture. Paul Brishley did 297. John Buat, 179. Would John come up? Don Buat, 200. Don Diesel, 39. Dan Giesler, 80. John Gegg, 238. Dennis Grass, 326. Tom Hogermiller, 42. I don't think he's here. Vince Hook, 309. Bill Kreitler, 356. Bert McGuire, 13. Joe Lurk, 251. And Joe is our coordinator. He does all the calling. Lloyd Schweiger, 397. Marty Whitkoff, 107. I don't see him. These are the active members right now. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Get up here and somebody could be kind enough to take a picture for us of these guys. Okay, we also want to honor the ones that worked, did it before. And if you're here or a family member is here, please come up and get it, take it home. And if you got a neighbor that I read off and they're not here, we'll be glad for them to take it. Vess Bowman, 2. Carl Bishop, 60. Gary Bersall, 12. Gary, I'm sorry, you should have been. I knew I'd screw up somewhere. Gary should have been in with the active group. I'm sorry. Sharon, don't leave. Ollie DeNoyer. Bill Fritsch. Cleet Giesler. Victor Yokerst. Victor was our founder. He did 296. Oh, this one. Okay. Vic was our founder, and him and Carl Bishop started, and they was the only two that done funerals for a while. Paul Wayne Yokerst. Warren, you want to get that? Warren Yokerst. Where'd he go? Oh, here he comes. Welton Kist. Leonard Cook. Tom Meyer. Sonny Meyer. I know Doris is here. It's too hard. We'll bring it to you, Doris. Bob Overly. John Overly. Tom Raymer. Joel Ross. Anybody? Mike Smelsley. Francis Shue. Norman Stupi.
Normans, I'll take care of Normans.
Tom Walsh. He was our senior, he was our senior member for years, and then Vince Hook, I better not tell how old he is. He might not like that. And Irv Waller, I know. Wayne, you want to get Irv? That's your former father-in-law. Okay, and here, Wayne. Okay, one more thing, and then I'm gonna shut up and get out of here. Joe Lurk, you know, I said was our coordinator, but his wife went through and found all these numbers for us out of the old records, and don't want to take it away from Vic. He kept records, but it was hard to read. His handwriting was atrocious. So she did one heck of a job. We want to thank Pat for putting it on a spreadsheet for us, and we have do this again sometime. We won't have to look so hard. Okay, well, thank you.
Good morning. My name is Dennis Grass. I'm the commander of the Veteran of Foreign Wars, Post 2210. Welcome to Memorial Day services, and thank you for attending. Today we gather to pay our tribute to those who died while answering the call to duty. Honoring their sacrifice serves to remind us not only of the cost of the war, but perhaps more importantly, the price we must pay for peace. Let us take time today and every day to remember those who have fought and who are fighting for our freedoms. Please stand for the posting of colors and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem. Officer of the day, by your command.
Details. Port arms. Forward arms. On left, arms. Details. On. False colors.
Is that orange? Beside the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stand.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet
just a little bit. Allie is blind, and she plays the guitar, and she does sing other songs, so she does a great job. Thank you, Allie. We have our POW flag, POW table set up at a focal point. Here today, we'll always remember those who brave men and women who are unaccounted for and unable to join our ranks. We will not forget. We will never give up until all comes home. I would like to ask Quartermaster Paul Breshley to honor our members of the post who achieved milestones in the centuries. If you are present, please come forward to accept your combination pin. Paul?
50-year pins and patches, Robert Johnson, James Brandt. Okay. 60-year pin, John Buat. I know he's here. There he comes. And Melvin Lipp. 70-year, Herman Krensley and John Brillos.
Thank you, comrades, for your service to our country and to our post. Today is a day for and about veterans and who we are grateful for our community support and wish to recognize the following and invite them to offer a few words. Randy Ruzuka, Presiding Commissioner, representing the St. Johnny County Commissioner. Please stand while Randy comes up and says a few words.
Thank you, Dennis. Well, good morning, everybody. I want to thank you once again for inviting me to speak at today's Memorial Day ceremony. It's an honor to be here. Special thanks to all the volunteers from the VFW and American Legion and everybody else that worked hard to make all this happen. I know it's a lot of work. And also on the subject of volunteers and diligence, we have to acknowledge the cannon out there and that, which I was here last year when they brought it in, and it's just magnificent. Hopefully old Whistler will be around for a long time. I would also like to acknowledge that my two fellow commissioners are here. Corey Ford from District 1 and Mark Marbury are both here, so the County Commission is here in full force. And we're honored to have Corey because he is also a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, so he brings that experience to our commission. Just a few words. The true meaning of Memorial Day a lot of times gets lost on the general public. Everybody thinks of weekend holidays and barbecues and all sorts of fun things. It is, however, much deeper than that, and if you truly understand the importance, it's the day we pay respect and give honor to all who paid the ultimate price for their country. Based on the information that I have seen, in excess of 1.4 million patriots have died in the line of military service since the founding of our great nation. Approximately 120,000 of those are buried overseas, a testament to the sacrifice the United States has made for the safety of the world, as well as our own great country. We owe each and every one of them an immeasurable debt. Because of their sacrifice, we are able to live free in the greatest country on earth. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the sacrifice by the family members who lost their loved ones in the line of duty. The following lines are from a Merle Haggard song entitled "The Soldier's Last Letter." Then the mother's old hands began to tremble, and she fought against tears in her eyes. But they came unashamed, for there was no name. And she knew that her soldier had died. Then the mother knelt down by her bedside, and she prayed, "Lord above, hear my plea, and protect all the sons who are fighting tonight. And dear God, keep America free." It's no secret St. Genevieve has lost its share of persons in the line of duty, and I'm sure everyone in this room knows someone who didn't make it home. May God bless each and every one of their souls for paying the ultimate price for our country. Also, in closing, I would like to recognize and say thank you to each and every one of you who served your country. We would not be here if it were not for you. God bless you all, and God bless America, land of the free, because of the brave. Thank you.
I would also like to ask Betty Arnold, National Chief of Staff and past Department President of the Veteran Foreign Warriors Auxiliary, to say a few words.
I bring greetings from the VFW Auxiliary National and Department Organization. Memorial Day is more than just a long weekend or a day off work. It is a time to remember, honor, and celebrate the lives and legacies of the brave men and women who gave their lives in service to our country. Memorial Day is a time to remember and honor the men and women who died while serving in the U.S. Armed Forces. It is a day to pay tribute to their courage, sacrifice, and selflessness. It is also a day to reflect on the importance of freedom and the values that our soldiers fought and died for. As we observe this Memorial Day, let us remember the legacy of our fallen heroes and express our gratitude for their service and sacrifice. We have the opportunity in many ways to honor these brave men and women. This is a solemn occasion to pay tribute to our veterans. Take action today and every day to make certain that lives lost were not lost in vain. Strive to live up to their example of service and sacrifice. One of the many ways to do this is to become actively involved in organizations like the VFW, the American Legion, the Elks, and their auxiliaries to continue to fight for entitlements, not benefits, entitlements due our veterans. I urge you to consider membership in these patriotic organizations. I would also like to share that on May the 14th, VFW Auxiliary National President Brenda Bryant visited the Missouri National Veterans Memorial in Perryville and presented a $10,000 check to the memorial from the VFW Auxiliary. As a member of the VFW Auxiliary, you all were a part of this remarkable donation. Thank you to all of the VFW and auxiliary members who attended the ceremony. As General George S. Patton once said, "It is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men and women lived. Let us forever be grateful for the brave men and women who gave the lives for our country, and let us strive to live up to their example of service and sacrifice. May God bless each of you, and may He continue to bless our United States of America."
Thank you, Betty. Please join in our religious services, comrades. Attention, as long as two comrades survive, so long will we render tribute to our historic dead on this day forever, consecrated to our historic dead, and we are assembled once again to express sincere reverence. This monument represents the resting place of many departed comrades who have served in all the wars. Whenever the body of a comrade lies, the ground is hollow. Present here today is solemnly of all these men and women and expression of our tribute to their devotion of duty, courage, and patriotism by their service, whether it was on land, sea, air, or have made us debtors. For the flag of our nation still flies over the land of free people. Pray at rest. Comrade Chaplain, please come up and give us the divine blessings.
Father of us all, in the depth of our silent reverence, we realize the truth of the inspired words, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. As comrade after comrade departs, we march on with our ranks growing thinner. Help us to be faithful unto thee and to one another. Look in mercy on the widows and children of the departed comrades. We beseech thee, and with thine own tenderness, console and comfort those who are bereaved. Heavenly Father, bless our country with freedom, peace, and righteousness. We praise thy great name forever and ever. Amen.
Comrade Chaplain, you will read the names of the departed comrades for this past year. I would like to see Laura Spleeg and Betty Stretch. Would you help come up, please? They will place the poppies on the Bible.
Gerald Weiler, Charles Hawk, Lester Streech, Paul E. Kist, Donald Hoog, Delbert Bassler, David Schweizgart, Vincent Weiler, Robert Uding, Donald Swice, Richard Barr Sr., Charles A. Meyer, Larry Volk, Greg Filler, Paul W. Jockhurst, Francis Bauman, Donald Swent, Eddie Gorvoro, Jonas Jockhurst, Ronald Brewster, Gary Busenbark, Gary Reinhardt, Marvin Stevens, Marvin Drury.
We will now continue to pay our respects to the departed comrades. Comrade Senior Vice Commander, on behalf of the Post 2210 Foreign Warriors, you want to place the flower, please, the wealth?
Comrade Junior Vice.
On behalf of Post 2210, veterans of foreign wars in the United States, I place this symbol in our remembrance.
Levi's.
I place this symbol of purity on the comrade's grave. May each future generation emulate the unselfish courage of all men and women who fought for freedom.
Comrade officer today.
In memory of the heroic dead who have fallen in defense of the United States of America, I place this tribute of our devotion and everlasting remembrance.
American Legion Commander, Post 150. American Legion Riders.
On behalf of the American Legion, I'd like to present this flyer to our fallen comrades who cannot be here today.
American Legion Commander, Post 554.
I present this bouquet on behalf of our fallen warriors with utmost respect.
Sons of the American Legion.
Place these flowers for our fallen comrades.
Lieutenant Colonel Felix St. James, Sons of the Union Veterans of the Civil War.
On behalf of the Sons of the Union Veterans of the Civil War, Camp 326, we place these flowers in honor of our camp namesake, Lieutenant Colonel J. Felix St. James, who was mortally wounded at the Battle of Shiloh in 1862. And we also offer them in honor of all who have served and died in the service of our country.
President of the Professional Foreign Arts Auxiliary.
On behalf of the VFW Auxiliary, I offer these flowers in memory of our veterans who served in the wars. God bless you all for coming. Thank you.
President of American Legion Auxiliary, Post 150.
On behalf of American Legion Auxiliary Unit 150 of St. Genevieve, I hereby lay this flower to pay tribute to honor our beloved veterans.
President of the American Legion Auxiliary, Post 554.
On behalf of Bloomstone 554, we'd like to lay these heroes.
On behalf of our glorious republic, for who our comrades enlisted and served, I place this emblem of our nation, the flag of our country, was there to defend. The glorious colors shall wave over them in death as in life, for everyone to beyond. To you comrades who departed, we render the final salute. Comrades, attention. Officer today, by your command.
Detail, head tuck, port, horn, left page, forward, march. fire. Ready, aim, fire. Ready, aim, fire. Ready, aim, fire. Reset, hold. Forward, hold. Left, wing. Port, arm. Forward, arm. Detail, halt. Right, hey. Fall out. Please be seated.
Please be seated. I would now like to call upon our keynote speaker to deliver remarks. Quincy Madrick currently serves as Missouri Veteran Foreign Wars Senior Vice Commander. She served 4 years in the United States Army as a personnel management specialist. A Veteran of Foreign Wars eligibility is based on her tour in South Korea in 1979 and through 1980. She retired from the USDA as a supervisor in the Customer Service Department after 25 years of employment. Quincy is a Gold Legacy Vice Life member of the Post 1831 in DeSoto. The life member of the VFW National Home and a member of the Missouri District 8 Riders. She presides in a house, Springs, and her husband, Bill.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Commander Grass, for inviting me here. What a pleasure. What a pleasure. And thank you for the adjustment to the podium. It's an honor to stand before you on this solemn and sacred day. As veterans, we know that we gather not for barbecues, sales, or the unofficial start of summer. We gather to remember. We gather to honor. We gather to pay tribute to the men and women who gave the last full measure of devotion to this nation. We gather for Memorial Day. I'm a proud member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, an organization whose very existence is rooted in service, in remembrance, and in ensuring that the sacrifices of our fallen are never, ever forgotten. I've seen firsthand the power of this day, the weight of this day, and the importance of this day. It's a day that I fear too many of our fellow Americans have forgotten. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, in the pursuit of leisure and recreation, the true meaning of Memorial Day can get lost. It becomes just another day off or another reason for a long weekend. But those of us who have served, and those of us who have lost friends and brothers and sisters in arms, it's so much more. It's a day etched in blood, forged in sacrifice, and hallowed by the memory of heroes. It's a day to walk among the silent rows of white stones in our national cemeteries, to read the names etched in granite, and to feel the profound absence of those who should be standing here with us today. Today we think of the young men who stormed the beaches of Normandy, not for glory, but to defend the free world. We remember the American warriors who fought side by side in the frozen hills of Korea. not for conquest, but for the survival of democracy. We honor the young Americans who fought the jungles and the rice paddies of Vietnam, not for ideology, but for their comrades. And we remember the American heroes, male and female, who fell in the deserts of Iraq and the mountains of Afghanistan, not for oil, but for the safety of our nation. The people we honor today are sons and daughters, husbands and wives, fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters. They were ordinary people called to arms who did extraordinary things. They left behind families, dreams, and futures, all for something larger than themselves. They died so that we may live. And that, my friends, is why we must remember. We must remember the true cost of our freedom and that we owe them a debt that we could never repay. We must remember that freedom is not free and that it was purchased with the blood of our nation's truest patriots. We must remember all of this, and not just today, but every day. It's important that we teach our children their names and their stories, that we visit their memorials and keep their memories alive. And we must continue to support their families and honor their legacy. If we forget, if we stop telling their stories, we dishonor their sacrifice and diminish their courage. If we forget, we risk repeating the mistakes of the past. As members of the VFW and the VFW Auxiliary, we are committed to ensuring that America never forgets. We are the keepers of the flame and the guardians of their memory. We are here to serve our communities, to continue to support our veterans and their families. So on this Memorial Day, I ask you to join us. Take a moment of silence, say a prayer, visit a cemetery, fly your flag, but most importantly, remember. Remember our nation's heroes and their sacrifice. Remember their legacy and the families they left behind. And let us resolve together to live lives worthy of their sacrifice, to build a nation worthy of their devotion, and to ensure that their memory lives on forever. Thank you.
Okay, I will say some thank yous. Thank you to the members of the German band under the direction of Stacy Bell for being with us today. Thank you all for joining us today as we remember and salute our veterans. We would also like to thank Channel 990, 991, and St. Genevieve Herald for their coverage in our events. Thank you to Rosie Hury and Rosie Posies for applying the flowers for our memorial service. A special thanks to Jay Pope and the St. Genevieve High School and Judd Nagger of the Valley High School football teams for assisting with our flag display. Thank you to Ray Montgomery, Oberly Meat Market, Save the Lot, M&M Restaurant, Roman Sidney Viox for putting the meal together for us. It really does take many people together to put this event on each year. And I want to thank you for everybody that helped me do this today, because it does take a lot of work to get the grounds ready to go for the flags. We are grateful to the families who allow us to display the veteran flag. There's right now 240 plus flags on display. Please take time to view our flags. There's a binder on the corner here to see the name, location of the flags. And if you want to take one home, there's a checkout also. You can take your personal flag home to keep for yourself and bring it back next year, but you need to sign it out. Each one represents a veteran. Offer a silent thank you as a pause to remember the service to our country. Take time to welcome old Whistler back to our grounds and view the World War II, which is not here today, I'm sorry, but World War II vehicle is not here. Father Bookcamper is not here, I don't think, and Wessel. So Comrade Chaplain, would you please come up and give our closing remarks and offer the prayers?
Oh, Heavenly Father, we are grateful for the bounty that you have given us today. May we gain strength to continue our service. In your name, amen.
Please be seated. Please out of program, participants followed by the veterans who entered the serving line first. Again, thank you for everything you've done today, and please enjoy the lunch and music. Thank you for everything.